Are you ready to discover the profound power of letting go? In Buddhism, letting go means releasing attachments, desires, and clinging to outcomes, allowing us to find true freedom and inner peace. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means surrendering to what is, accepting the present moment with open arms, and trusting that everything happens for a reason. In this video, we will learn the power of letting go. Lesson 1. Let go of your expectations. One of the fundamental teachings of Buddhism is to let go of our expectations. We create idealized visions of how things should be, and when reality doesn't align with these expectations, we experience disappointment and frustration. Buddhism encourages us to detach from these preconceived notions, as they only serve to keep us trapped in a cycle of suffering. By accepting things as they are, we can find genuine contentment and learn to appreciate the beauty of imperfection. The lesson of letting go of expectations is about freeing ourselves from the attachment to specific outcomes. It recognizes that having rigid expectations can lead to stress and unhappiness. Instead, Buddhism suggests cultivating a mindset of acceptance and openness to whatever unfolds. In our daily lives, we often hold expectations about how people should behave, how situations should unfold, or how we should achieve certain goals. These expectations create a framework through which we view the world, and when reality deviates from this framework, we may feel disappointed, resentful, or anxious. Buddhism teaches us that expectations are often based on our desires and attachments. We become attached to particular outcomes, believing that they will bring us happiness or fulfill our desires. However, this attachment binds us to future events and prevents us from fully experiencing the present moment. When we let go of expectations, we release ourselves from this cycle of attachment and suffering. We learn to embrace uncertainty and trust in the natural flow of life. This doesn't mean we should abandon all goals or stop striving for improvement. Rather, it means we approach them with a flexible and open mindset. We understand that circumstances may change, and we allow space for alternative paths or unforeseen opportunities. By letting go of expectations, we allow ourselves to be present in each moment without judgment or resistance. We become more attuned to the reality of the situation as it unfolds, rather than being bound by our preconceptions. This openness allows us to respond to challenges with clarity and adaptability, fostering resilience and inner peace. Letting go of expectations doesn't imply apathy or lack of ambition. Instead, it invites us to cultivate a sense of detachment from the outcome, focusing instead on our actions and intentions in the present. By doing so, we can find freedom from the constant pressure of trying to control every aspect of our lives. By detaching ourselves from fixed ideas of how things should be, we open ourselves up to a richer and more fulfilling experience of life. It is through this practice that we can find true contentment and harmony within ourselves and with the world around us. Lesson 2. Let go of your attachment to the past. The past has a way of haunting us, clinging onto our thoughts and emotions. Many of us replay past events in our minds, holding on to resentments, regrets, or nostalgia. Buddhism teaches us that clinging to the past prevents us from fully experiencing the present moment. By letting go of our attachment to the past, we free ourselves from the burden of old wounds, allowing space for healing and growth. Buddhism teaches us that holding on to the past prevents us from fully engaging with the present, the here and now. When we constantly ruminate on what has already occurred, we lose sight of the opportunities and joys unfolding in the current moment. It's like carrying a heavy load of baggage on our backs, weighing us down and hindering our progress. By letting go of our attachment to the past, we liberate ourselves from the burdensome weight of old wounds, regrets, and longings. This release creates space within us, a freedom to heal and grow. It allows us to approach life with renewed energy, unburdened by the chains of the past. Furthermore, clinging to the past nurtures a fixed and rigid mindset. We become so fixated on what has happened before that we resist change and transformation. We fail to adapt to new circumstances or embrace fresh perspectives. Instead of living in the present moment, we remain stuck, replaying outdated scripts in our minds. When we let go of our attachment to the past, we become more flexible and open-minded. We become receptive to the ever-changing nature of life, understanding that each moment offers us a chance for new beginnings. By releasing our grip on the past, we create a space within ourselves for personal growth, learning, and the discovery of new possibilities. Letting go enables us to live more freely, unburdened by the weight of the past, and ready to embrace the infinite possibilities of the present and future. Lesson 3. Let go of your fear of the future. Buddhism encourages us to understand that worrying excessively about what might happen in the future can be detrimental to our well-being. This fear and anxiety about the unknown can overwhelm our minds and prevent us from fully experiencing happiness and contentment in the present moment. Buddhism teaches that the future is inherently uncertain and beyond our control. No matter how much we worry or stress, we cannot predict or manipulate what will happen. Therefore, it is better to accept and embrace this uncertainty rather than letting it consume us. By letting go of our fear of the future, we can find a deep sense of peace and trust in the natural unfolding of life. It means recognizing that life is filled with both challenges and opportunities, and that we have the inner strength and resilience to face whatever comes our way. When we stop clinging to our fears and anxieties about the future, we open ourselves up to fully engage with the present. We can approach life's experiences with an open heart, ready to embrace the joys and navigate through the hardships. This allows us to live each moment to its fullest potential without being burdened by future worries. Letting go of the fear of the future requires courage and a willingness to surrender control. It involves acknowledging that we cannot control every outcome and learning to trust that things will unfold as they should. This doesn't mean we become passive or resigned. Rather, it empowers us to respond to life's challenges with resilience, adaptability, and a positive mindset. By embracing the uncertainty of the future and cultivating trust in the natural flow of life, we can live more fully in the present moment, with courage and resilience to face whatever comes our way. Lesson 4. Let go of grudges and bitterness. Holding on to grudges and nurturing bitterness within ourselves only poisons our own peace of mind. Buddhism teaches us the power of forgiveness and the importance of letting go of resentment. By relinquishing our attachment to these negative emotions, we create space for compassion and understanding to flourish. By extending forgiveness, both towards ourselves and others, we can experience true liberation and genuine connections. When we hold on to these negative emotions, they act as a toxin that harms our inner peace. Buddhism teaches us a valuable lesson about forgiveness and the vital role it plays in our lives. Imagine carrying a heavy burden of resentment towards someone who has wronged you. This burden weighs you down, causing distress and anger. Buddhism stresses the importance of letting go of such grudges, because they keep us trapped in a cycle of negativity. By releasing our attachment to these negative emotions, we allow ourselves to move forward and find inner peace. Forgiveness is not about condoning or forgetting what happened. It is about freeing ourselves from the suffering that holding on to grudges brings. When we hold on to bitterness, it consumes our thoughts and prevents us from fully experiencing happiness and contentment. Buddhism teaches us to recognize the harm that harboring grudges can cause to our own mental and emotional well-being. Letting go of grudges does not mean we should suppress our feelings or pretend that everything is okay. Instead, Buddhism encourages us to acknowledge and process our emotions, but then release them. By doing so, we create space within ourselves for compassion and understanding to flourish. By extending forgiveness, we not only release the person who wronged us from our resentment, but we also free ourselves. The act of forgiveness allows us to break free from the chains that hold us captive to pain and anger. It liberates us from the burden of carrying grudges, enabling us to embrace peace and move forward in our lives. Buddhism reminds us that forgiveness is not limited to others. It includes forgiving ourselves as well. Often, we hold on to self-blame and regret, which can hinder our personal growth and happiness. By practicing self-forgiveness, we grant ourselves the opportunity to learn and grow from our mistakes, fostering a sense of self-compassion and acceptance. Letting go of grudges and bitterness allows us to cultivate genuine connections with others. When we forgive, we open our hearts to compassion, empathy, and understanding. It allows us to see the humanity in others, acknowledging that everyone makes mistakes. By embracing forgiveness, we build stronger relationships and foster an environment of harmony and kindness. By releasing these negative emotions, we create space within ourselves for compassion, understanding, and peace to flourish. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but rather a courageous act that liberates us from the chains of resentment. It encourages us to cultivate genuine connections and find true happiness in our lives. Lesson 5. Let go of the need to control everything. The desire for control is deeply ingrained within us. However, Buddhism encourages us to recognize the limitations of our control over external circumstances. By striving to control every aspect of our lives, we often create unnecessary stress and suffering. Instead, by surrendering to the flow of life and accepting the inherent uncertainties, we can find a profound sense of freedom and peace. Buddhism emphasizes that this need for control can lead to suffering and discontentment. The reality of life is that there are many things outside of our control. We cannot control the actions of others, the outcomes of certain events, or even the passage of time. Trying to exert control over these external circumstances only leads to frustration, disappointment, and a constant state of anxiety. By holding on to the need for control, we carry a heavy burden. We invest our energy in trying to manipulate and bend reality to fit our expectations, often in vain. This relentless pursuit of control drains us mentally, emotionally, and even physically. It keeps us trapped in a cycle of stress and unhappiness. Buddhism encourages us to embrace a different approach. It teaches us the power of letting go of the need to control everything. This doesn't mean to be passive or apathetic. Instead, it means releasing our grip on the illusion of control. It means recognizing that life is unpredictable and trying to control everything is a futile endeavor. Letting go starts with accepting the inherent uncertainties of life. It means acknowledging that we cannot control external situations, circumstances, or the actions of others. Instead of fighting against the current, we learn to surrender to the flow of life. We discover that in surrendering our need for control, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and suffering. When we let go of the need to control, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. We become more accepting and adaptable, which allows us to navigate life's challenges with greater ease. We learn to embrace change rather than resist it. We cultivate a sense of inner peace, knowing that we have released the burden of trying to control everything. Letting go doesn't mean we become passive observers of our lives. Instead, It invites us to take responsibility for our own actions and attitudes. We learn to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, emotions, and responses. We understand that by letting go of the need to control external circumstances, we gain the freedom to choose how we perceive and interact with the world. By surrendering our attachment to control, we find liberation from unnecessary stress and suffering. We embrace the uncertainties of life, allowing us to flow more harmoniously with the ever-changing world around us. Through letting go, we discover a deep sense of freedom, peace, and acceptance. Lesson 6. Let go of reliving painful experiences. Sometimes we find ourselves replaying painful experiences repeatedly in our minds. This rumination only intensifies our suffering and prevents us from moving forward. Buddhism teaches us the importance of releasing these repetitive thoughts, allowing healing to take place. By living in the present moment and cultivating a sense of mindfulness, we can break free from the chains of the past and embrace a more joyful and fulfilling life. Buddhism encourages us to recognize the harmful nature of reliving these painful experiences. By constantly revisiting them, we prevent ourselves from moving forward in life, finding peace and experiencing happiness. Instead, we are trapped in a continuous loop of hurtful emotions and thoughts, which have a negative impact on our overall well-being. To break free from this pattern, Buddhism offers a valuable solution: letting go. Letting go means releasing our attachment to these painful experiences and allowing ourselves to heal. It involves accepting that these events happened in the past and acknowledging their impact on us, but refusing to let them define our present and dictate our future. One way to facilitate this process is by embracing the present moment fully. By focusing our attention on the here and now, we shift our perspective away from the past and into the present reality. Practicing mindfulness, which involves being aware and fully present in each moment, allows us to disengage from the constant replay of painful memories. It helps us cultivate a sense of inner peace and acceptance, letting go of the weight that these experiences have placed upon us. Letting go of reliving painful experiences does not mean suppressing or denying our emotions. It is a process of understanding, accepting, and releasing the grip these memories have on us. It allows us to reclaim our emotional well-being and take control of our own narrative. By implementing the teachings, we can break free from the chains of the past and open ourselves up to a more joyful and fulfilling existence. Letting go of reliving painful experiences is an empowering practice that enables us to move forward, heal, and embrace the present moment with a renewed sense of peace and happiness. Lesson 7. Let go of the need to fix other people. Sometimes we find ourselves convinced that we know what is best for others. We may see their behavior or choices as incorrect or unwise and feel a strong inclination to intervene and make things better for them. While our intentions may be well-meaning, Buddhism teaches us that this desire for control ultimately leads to suffering, both for ourselves and for the other person. Instead of focusing on changing others, Buddhism emphasizes the importance of accepting each individual's unique journey and respecting their autonomy. Each person is responsible for their own actions, decisions, and personal growth. By recognizing this, we can cultivate a greater sense of compassion and understanding towards others. When we let go of the need to fix people, we redirect our energy towards our own personal growth. We realize that the most significant changes we can make are within ourselves. By focusing on our own development and offering support to others without trying to force change upon them, we create an environment of acceptance and understanding. Through this approach, we can enhance our relationships and foster a harmonious atmosphere where each person feels valued for who they are. Instead of seeing others as projects to be fixed, we see them as fellow travelers on the path of life, each with their own lessons to learn and their own struggles to overcome. By embracing their individual paths and focusing on our own growth, we cultivate compassion, respect, and acceptance. This allows us to create meaningful connections and contribute to a more harmonious world. Lesson 8. Let go of incorrect conclusions about yourself. Self-judgment and self-criticism are common obstacles on the path to inner peace. Buddhism encourages us to let go of the misconceptions we hold about ourselves. By recognizing our inherent worthiness and letting go of negative self-talk, we can cultivate self-compassion and embrace our true nature. By practicing self-acceptance, we open the door to personal growth and fulfillment. Lesson 9. Let go of harmful relationships. Throughout our lives, we often find ourselves entangled in toxic and harmful relationships. Buddhism teaches us the importance of recognizing when a relationship no longer serves our highest good and having the courage to let it go. By detaching ourselves from these negative influences, we create space for healthy connections and authentic love to enter our lives. Letting go of harmful relationships is an act of self-care and a step towards personal growth and well-being. Lesson 10. Let go of the past to justify your decisions. Our past experiences can shape our present choices and actions. However, Buddhism reminds us that clinging to the past as a way to justify our decisions limits our potential for growth. By letting go of the need to justify ourselves and embracing the present moment, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and a greater sense of freedom. The past does not define us. It is our ability to let go that determines our future. The power of letting go is a transformative practice rooted in the teachings of Buddhism. By incorporating these lessons into our lives, we can unlock a state of mind that is grounded in acceptance, compassion, and freedom. Letting go allows us to release the heavy burdens that prevent us from experiencing true happiness and inner peace. Embrace the wisdom of Buddhism and let go of what no longer serves you. For in the art of letting go lies the path to liberation and enlightenment.